This topic is about the Great Depression. It is in the unit on USA History 1920 to 73 in the AQA GCSE History curriculum. The Great Depression was an event that affected everybody in America. It was a complete meltdown of the financial system, with the banks going bankrupt on a rapid rate, people becoming homeless, and people losing their jobs. And the result was, for everybody, very bad news. The farmers were evicted from their land because they could no longer pay back their debts. The factory workers lost their jobs, and with that, their homes. And with the wealthy, there was also an effect because they lost their money on the shares, though they still had their assets in terms of land. Well, the response of Hoover to the Great Depression was too little, too late. His belief in rugged individualism didn't help, and as unemployment increased, though Hoover did work hard to try and get industry to pay fair wages and to employ people, he was working against an impossible situation. The world economy was simply on free fall, and there was no big countries around the world who could take up the slack. In the end, people blamed Hoover for this lack of action, and they started calling their slums that are built at the edges of cities Hoovervilles. Hoover further made the situation worse by sending in the army to clear the veterans who had gone to Washington to ask for their money early from the First World War, and that gave a really bad impression of Hoover as being heartless. Hoover eventually did try to spend money. The Hoover Dam was one example, but as they said, it was too little, too late. In the end, it was going to be Franklin Roosevelt with his New Deal that was going to get things started again. And we'll look at that the next time. The question is, how should we have responded to the Depression? And I often say to the pupils, pray for your leaders. It is not obvious how things should be done. And I think one has to respect even Hoover in what he tried to do and why he tried to do it, even if you come to the conclusion that he was wrong. And today, our leaders face impossible situations, and we need to pray for them, because it's not always obvious what is the correct answer. Well, thank you for listening.